And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. Today is June 26, 2025, and I'm your host, Saint Nick. All right, today on the show, NBA draft last night, and Cooper Flag went one, which we all knew, and then everything else just fell into place. And we'll break it all down. Once again, kind of shows, this narrative that we've kind of been on for the last week, teams not really caring about winning or knowing how to win. Not everybody that's in the front office, folks, is qualified for their jobs. And we kind of saw it a little bit last night. So we'll break all that down. Some more signings, some more trades in the NBA. We'll break those down as well. And then in the NFL, some stories to catch up on. So we'll break those down. And I think there's a few teams that we don't have to really be concerned about with their, I can't say young quarterback, but fresh quarterback is what I'll say, because they're not so young anymore. You know what I mean? So we got a great show for you today. So let's just jump on in and let's start here at the NBA side. And we get this, before the draft took place, the Houston Rockets signed Fred VanVleet to a 2-year, $50 million extension, and I absolutely love this. I think this is deservedly so. 2 years, $25 million a year, good market, good price for the man. Fred VanVleet, he is an NBA champion with the Raptors. We love that. He can be a champion winning point guard. You bring in Kevin Durant. We know Fred VanVleet can be a scorer, but you got Kevin Durant now. So you lighten the load for VanVleet, solid defender. He can see the floor. He can run the offense. Another year he's been here. It's established. I'm really gushing over the Rockets here as of late. The fact that they got rid of Jalen Green and replaced him with Kevin Durant. You kept Sengun. You kept Thompson. You kept Fred VanVleet. This Rockets roster is really something here, folks. And I think we looked at it a few days ago on the show that they were second favorites to win the NBA Finals at plus, I want to say around 700 plus 750. We'll see if that's moved over the last few days. But, folks, look at this starting lineup. Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, who's really the better of the Thompsons, in my opinion, and is really starting to get into his own late in the season last year. They got Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, and Alperen Sengun. You still got Steven Adams coming off the bench. You still got Jabari Smith. You got Aaron Holiday. You got Cam Whitmore. So solid depth there. Great starting lineup. And you got one of the best head coaches in the game, Ime Udoka. Plus, once again, just extending them, making them feel comfortable. So nobody's going to be talking about money this year. Hopefully. They all just got paid. So hopefully. And it's just really going to be pure ball. We see it right here, still plus 750. This is absolutely great value here, folks. Rockets to win the finals, plus 750, second favorites. Obviously, we still know the Thunder at plus 225. And we're going to talk about the Thunder later in the show. We're going to talk about Shea. But once again, there's just no value here. Even if you think the Thunder, oh my God, it's hands down, they repeat. You don't bet it. You can't bet this at plus 225, folks. There's just nothing. This is the worst value for a championship you'll probably ever see. So just not worth betting it. Rockets are knocking on the door. And we have to remember, please, can we just remember, because it's already getting lost in the shuffle, revisionist history in the mainstream media. This Thunder team was close to losing. Can we keep that in mind? They win 7 against the Nuggets. Now, shout out, they locked in for Game 7 and blew them out of the water, but it still wins 7, and we've seen the beef ability by this Thunder team a few times. The finals, it wins 7. Halliburton had to tear his Achilles. They were winning at halftime. Halliburton was on a potential generational Game 7 performance in the finals. So, yes, the Thunder won, and yes, we've saw some dominance throughout the season, but we haven't had a back-to-back repeater in the last 7 years, and I know after that Nuggets championship, they were saying, hey, the Nuggets are the next dynasty. After that Bucks championship, that was the dynasty. Even the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics were in this same spot. They're so deep. They're so young. They've got the 1. They've got the 1B, 1A, however you want to slice it. They've got the coach. They got the general manager. And they still lost. They still lost in the second round of the playoffs. And that's before Tatum went down. So, yes, it may seem like the Thunder, they're so unbeatable. But we've seen it before. The value here is absurd. It's absurd at plus 225 for the Thunder to repeat. You cannot bet this, folks. And they're dominant. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into more Thunder. So let me digress. But it's just so crazy. Let's not act like they swept first round, swept second round, swept third round, swept the finals. Yeah, they swept the Timberwolves. Well, I think it was 4-1. But once again, that's not a complete roster. And Anthony Edwards declined from last season. They went 7 against the Nuggets. They went 7 in the finals. Plus 220. It's blowing my mind here, folks. It makes me a little angry. Plus what? I get it. Shea's the next Kobe Bryant. He's fantastic. He's the best player to ever grace this earth. I get it. But we're potentially seeing that Chet could be a little bit of a defensive liability on the floor. Once again, you think teams are just not watching film and they're just going to be like, all right, well, they won last year. There's no way to beat them. We'll see if they can keep evolving. But shout out to Fred VanVleet, $50 million for 2 years. He deserves it. And I can't wait to watch this Rockets team again next season. Alrighty, another trade that kind of happened right before the NBA draft was the Phoenix Suns are trading for Mark Williams, the new up-and-coming center here in the league. Spent the last 3 years with the Hornets, and man, oh man, looking really good, looking dominant to really become the next kind of big superstar in the league. So, Suns end up getting him, and then the draft happens. And then they also draft the center, the Suns. So the Suns having 5 shooting guards and 4 centers on their team. We'll see if that works out for them. So now let's shift gears into the draft. And once again, potentially teams not knowing what they're doing. You trade for one of the premier centers in the league, and then you go and draft a center? Okay. All right. If that's going to work out for the Suns, we'll see. We also get here the Pelicans. The Pelicans may be having no idea on what they're doing because this is by Nick Wright last night after it.
Earmuffs, kids. New Orleans just traded away next year's first-round pick unprotected to move up from 23 to 13 with absolutely no due respect. Who the hell does New Orleans think they are?
Exactly. You trade away your pick next year. It's unprotected. So if you're trash and you had the number 1 overall pick, sorry, you just traded it away. And when we look at this Pelicans team, I mean, okay, I like Zion. Shout out. They just drafted Derek Queen, an absolute dog. I think he was from Maryland. Absolutely fantastic. Big fan of him. So I've got no problem with that. But once again, they may move off of Zion. There was talks of that after the season ended. Maybe it's kind of settled down now. We'll see. But also Jordan Poole. Like, this is where we're starting to lose me. I like Zion. I like Derek Queen. But now we're talking about Jordan Poole. No, he's atrocious. I'm sorry. Nobody will spin it for me. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole are the 2 worst players in the NBA. You cannot change my mind here, folks. So, okay, Zion, you got the rookie Derek Queen. We still got Trey Murph the third, who shout out, you're averaging 21 points. I can give you a little credit. But, I mean, this isn't a roster that's going to compete. Is this a roster that's competing? DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, Trey Murph, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missy? You got Derek Queen coming off the bench? I mean, Derek Queen and Zion are a little bit of the same player as well, so, all right. Okay. They're not the tallest, right? Derek Queen is what? Yeah, 6'10". Good, but You know? I don't know. So it's not looking great for the Pelicans moving forward. I hope they move Zion, but I don't know. Not after that trade. It seems like they're all in on being competitive this season. All right, it's a stacked East. It's a stacked West. That's all I'll say. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving on here. Once again, another team. Once again, maybe no idea on what they're doing. We had Ace Bailey, a little bit of the buzz in the draft because he was trying to dictate his own future on where he went. He wasn't working out for some teams, and one of the teams that he declined a pre-draft workout for ended up drafting him. All right, I get it. You know, you see the talent in this player. You think he can help you win. But if he doesn't want to be there and he's going to have a bad attitude about it, I mean, it's probably not worth drafting. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, you got to, you know, just how kind of, you know, Kevin Durant was dictating where he was traded. The Suns trying to do right by him. Sometimes you got to just swallow it. Be like, all right, he doesn't want to play here. All right, we can't really draft him even though we know he's good. So Ace Bailey declines the Jazz's post or pre-draft workout, and then this is him after
just a blessing.
After the draft.
To look kid at me smiling hard right now because I know the hard work, the sacrifices, the blood, the sweat, the tears, not just from me, but my family put into this. So to look at me and just smiling at me right now. So I'm just blessed to be here.
So I like that answer. He's like, yeah, my hard work paid off. I'm glad I'm drafted, all that. And then the next question.
Had you had any idea they had any interest in you?
No idea.
Did you have any idea they had any interest in you? And he said, no idea. That's not great. Like, were they calling? Were they having conversations? I get he didn't do the pre-draft workout, but were you still calling, keeping tabs? Communication in some sense? Doesn't sound like it. All right, so I get that the NBA draft isn't as highly kind of coveted as the NFL draft. I mean, we were seeing some war rooms, some NBA draft war rooms, and it was like in a gym with just folding tables. I mean, we got the Rams renting out beach houses and making it look professional. So it's interesting, just the glaring, starking differences in the drafts between the NFL and the NBA here. So we've got the Suns drafting a position they just traded for. We've got the Pelicans thinking, hey, we can get rid of our first round pick next year because we should be good. Ooh, okay. Ruining potentially their future. And then we got the Jazz saying, hey, he doesn't want to be here, and we really didn't talk to him too much, but yeah, let's get him over here. And then we got the Blazers. And maybe the Blazers found the loophole. They found the wild card. They ended up drafting a 7-foot potential Chinese Jokic out here. So we'll see if that plays. But the other people around the league didn't really like what they're doing. We get this report
NBA
here.
Insider, very, very far from it, but I've got a few connections, and I can guarantee you that people around the league are shaking their heads and texting each other right now going, what on earth is Portland doing?
People around the league are shaking their heads and texting each other, what is Portland doing? What are they doing? We have other Brian Windhorst. The Brooklyn Nets had 5 first-round picks. And usually when you have a lot of those picks, you start to leverage those picks, leverage them in next year's draft, leverage them for some sort of good talent, at least secure some good talent. A pick could be anything, could be trash, could be good, could be the greatest of all time, but it's a mystery. So you usually leverage, all right, we'll give you 2 first so we get some guaranteed talent, and then we still keep our picks. But the Nets decide, you know what, we're going to draft all 5 players. We're drafting all 5. And Brian Windhorst said that other teams were laughing at their war room, laughing on what they're doing, that they actually went and drafted all 5 players in the first round. So multiple teams potentially not knowing what they're doing. Once again, this has kind of been the topic on the show for the last week. We've been talking about the NFL collusion and how it's all about, business is business, and they're always just looking to save any money. We've got general managers, front offices, drafting players that don't want to play there, not doing their due diligence, maybe not taking the draft seriously. And once again, the NBA wonders why the ratings are down. Because it seems like some front offices are just filled with clowns. And let's go to this now. Nico Harrison, the OG clown, trading Luka Doncic. No, everybody made fun of him, and rightfully so. But then they get the number 1 overall pick, and then it's, he's a genius. He's a genius. Once again, potential collusion in there as well. Real bizarre that you trade your star player and then you get rewarded with the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Okay, smells a little fishy. And to add a little smell to the fish, this is how you know, folks. Whenever you hear this quote, you must run the other way. Just like the quote, business is business, can't get mad at business. That's your sign to run the other direction because you're about to get screwed over big time. This is the other quote you run away from. Fortune favors the bold. That's Nico Harris, what he says on getting the number 1 overall pick. Fortune favors the bold. You know who else said fortune? Well, it wasn't fortune favors the bold. It was fortune favors the brave. You know who said that? Matt Damon. In the FTX commercial, the crypto that all the celebrities joined, and it turned out to be a big old scam. Fortune favors the brave. I'm scamming everybody. Fortune favors the bold. I just scammed the entire league. We rigged the lottery. Okay. All right, Nico. So you fall, you get lucky, and then you're hailed as the king. Gets lucky. You had a 1.8% chance to get the pick. I don't know about that's fortune favoring the bold. What would have happened if you didn't get the number 1 overall pick? What do you say then? Fortune favors the stupid? Would you have said that, Nico? I doubt it. And then we get this after Nico Harris on the at the press conference after the draft, and he's saying, hey, I'm hoping and assuming some of the public backlash directed towards me subsides now. And yeah, it probably will because it lucked out for you. But to say that this went according to plan and everything, let's settle that down, because once you traded, you got rid of Luka Doncic, you were still winning games, and it still put you in the play-in tournament. That actually decreased your odds of getting the number 1 overall pick. So spare me on this, that this was the grand master plan with Nico Harris, okay? Spare me, fortune favors the bold. Okay, all right. All right. So that was most of the NBA draft. We'll see if these players pan out. Some overseas players getting drafted. We'll see if they can make an impact. We know those kind of these foreign players really could take over the league pretty quickly. Luka did it. Giannis, it took about a year or two for him to really beef up. But Jokic, Luka, Giannis, they can come and impact the game quick. So we'll see if that Chinese center. There was another kid from Spain that ended up getting drafted. So we'll see if any of these rookies can make an impact quickly for their teams. All right, 2 quick other stories to talk about before we shift gears to the NFL. The first one, the New York Knicks, their head coaching search. Man, it's not going good. They're planning on interviewing New Orleans Pelicans assistant coach James Borrego for their head coaching job. And he joins the list of Mike Brown, Taylor Jenkins, and Micah Nori as formal interviews for the New York Knicks. Man, oh man, how they have fallen. Couple of, I can't call them no names. I mean, Mike Brown, Taylor Jenkins, okay. But they're not cream of the crop. They're not A1 Tier 1 coaches. Where was the Ime? Where was the Jason Kidd, the Steve Nash that was a slam dunk in the bag? Oh, New York, New York, New York. Just some things don't change, folks. The New York Knicks are about to go coachless this season. All right, the final thing to talk about here, we had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander post on Instagram. And, okay, all right, we might have to rein this in a little bit. So let's talk about the post here. Let's read it. But this Thunder team, I think it's drove everybody crazy. Everyone's crazy now. So here we go. SGA on Instagram has this to say. Quote, I spent the last few days thinking, and while I reflected, I accepted. That half of the opinions on our trajectory were rooted in resentment. It was in front of your face all year, but you chose to neglect it. The more milestones we reached, the more people disrespected. They tried to say we were too young, hating on how we were connected, predicted our downfall every step of the way, and when we succeeded, they acted like it was expected. We ignored the noise. They said I was being nonchalant because I never would address it. Why would I shed light on rage bait and misdirection? I'd rather be the reason that you stand corrected. Oof, that's a bar right there. Staring at the Larry O, my only competition is the man in the reflection. Now, absolutely great post. This is absolutely fantastic. Kind of just shutting everybody up that doubted them. But that's where we got to talk about it. Were they really ever doubted? I know the SGA free throw merchant, that was something that came at the tail end of the season. It was kind of debunked really that week. I mean, that narrative, yeah, Doris Burke said it on national television, which was kind of crazy, but it was a narrative that really got debunked and then just kind of lingered around, just really not being true. But was this Thunder team really ever truly doubted? I'm trying to remember. They were hailed as the best team in the league, as far as I remember, really all season long. Now, some people were saying that, hating on how we were connected, and I shut that down. That wasn't me. I loved it. That's what I want to see out of a team. The camaraderie, everyone coming together. I know Nick Wright called it lame, and the post-game interviews were lame and all that. It ain't lame. That ain't lame. That's sportsmanship. That's competition. That's camaraderie. That's all believing, hey, as a team, we are one. As a team, we are one. Bink. Mark that down. How about the old Caesar quote? Not Julius Caesar. I'm talking about Planet of the Apes Caesar. Apes strong together. Yes. We're better together as the team. It ain't just me. It ain't just him. And it ain't just you. It's us. The team. Together. So I'll give them that. Some people were calling them lame and corny, but they're lame and corny for saying that this Thunder team is lame and corny. I mean, they were the favorites to win the finals in like historic fashion. So I don't know on how much they were really doubted. I don't know. I don't really remember them being too doubted. I mean, the NBA Finals coverage was so nonchalant because they just assumed the Thunder were going to roll and win. They really assumed that right from the get-go of the NBA playoffs. That, oh yeah, this team is just really going to blow by everybody. I don't really see them being doubted. Even when they were down against the Nuggets, and they beefed that game against the Nuggets, everyone was still saying, oh yeah, the Thunder are winning the series, no doubt. They were actually kind of disrespecting the Nuggets a little bit. Jokic, they were disrespecting. So, okay, I'm going to let SGA talk his talk. He's earned his right. He's literally won every single award. And once again, the MVP discussion, it was always SGA, like from the get-go. So, okay, I guess a little disrespect, but I really think the majority of it was praised by the media. praised by Vegas. I mean, once again, there was never any value on betting the Thunder because they were blowing everybody out of the water. They're still plus 225 to win the finals this season. That's still respect. They were comparing SGA to Kobe. Is that not the most respect you can get? So, I get it, but I don't know how much that this team was really disrespected and doubted. I don't know. They were called lame. And we pointed that out, and we tried our best to correct it. That's got to stop. I love seeing the guys all hang out together and praise each other and give the limelight to everybody and not just one person. I love all that. But these kind of last four bars, they said I was being nonchalant because I never would address it. Why would I shed light on rage bait and misdirection? And once again, that's it. The false or the knocks on the Thunder were all just rage bait or misdirection. That's all it was. It wasn't really true sentiment on, oh yeah, they're not going to win. It was always, yes, this team is so good. And then they would have to try to make up narratives on why they weren't going to win so they had something to talk about. So that's where we're at. Once again, everybody on the mainstream media saying that they're going to run it back. There's nobody stopping them. We were reading tweets the other day on I have trouble seeing on how this team is going to run it back to back. But once again, we do have to, this was just so crazy. Shai's talking like that they were this unstoppable force, that of course they were going to stomp through every competition, but they still win 2 Game 7s. Still almost lost against the Nuggets. It took Halliburton to tear his Achilles to truly solidify y'all as the champions. Game could have went different. So there's just so much going on. Shai's acting like he's God himself. Well, you almost lost here twice. So let's keep that in mind, all right? I get it. Y'all are great. Y'all are a potential dynasty coming up. Y'all are young. But y'all almost lost Game 7. That's all I'll say. Y'all down at halftime. Y'all won. I give you credit. But an injury also happened. So there's the way that the NBA is being talked about right now, folks, it's not great. It's not in a great scenario. Everything's we're like fluctuating between extremes, I feel like, every day. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the rest of the offseason. If anybody can challenge the big bad wolves of the Thunder, which I think there's some teams that can, honestly. The Rockets, I think, could definitely compete. We told y'all at plus 750, that's great odds. The Lakers, everyone's just not even talking about. They just need a center. That's it. They got Luka and LeBron. Come on now, folks. We have the Knicks, who should try and be a little better from last season. We'll see. I don't know. We got Ant-Man. Everyone likes to talk about Ant-Man. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Let's shift gears to the NFL here. And we got to touch upon this story because it's back in the news. Fat Debo looking fat again. We saw some footage of him at the OTAs a few weeks ago running around, and we said, hey, that looks slow. That looks a little too slow out there. And then we had Dan Quinn kind of put all the rumors to rest. We read the article. Dan Quinn said, oh my God, I just had to be reminded on how fast he was. Seeing him in person, oof, yeah, he's exactly what we know. He's not fat. He's not slowing down. He hasn't missed a step. Put all the rumors to rest. And then we have the official photo shoot of Debo. Ooh, I mean, a little busting at the seam, a little bit here. A little bit in the cheek, a little chubby in the cheek here. A little right here. I mean, just look at this jersey. Look at this jersey expanding. I mean, that's tight fitting. Slim fit, slim cut. Right here from the back. Little beefy on Debo. We really got an epidemic out here, folks. It's kind of crazy. It's really crazy. I get, America, we're known to be a little beefy. We're known to be on the little beefy side. But I never thought athletes would really just get out of shape and get beefy. It's crazy. It's starting to affect the athletes after we have Ozempic. It's crazy. After RFK is changing America healthy. We're taking all the sunseed oil, the avocado oil. We're taking that out of the fast food. We're replacing everything with beef lard. The healthy alternative to fried foods. We're taking all the oils out of the foods. McDonald's, we're replacing the fryer oil with beef tallow. We're healthy in America. Beef tallow and blue dye. Drink the blue dye. Blue dye and beef tallow make America healthy again. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm off the Commanders a little bit here, folks. I think Debo may lose a step here, and they're not ready to pay Scary Terry. Don't love that. So we'll see. Is big, beefy Debo, is he here? Or is he still that lightning spark that we know? We'll find out this season, but he's looking a little beefy to me. All right. We had Aaron Rodgers talk about on the show yesterday. He just wants to be a private man in a private life. And it's just so funny. Because Pro Football Talk on Twitter, they release an article. We're not going to read the article, but the tweet is funny. The headline is funny because that's exactly what we've been saying. Aaron Rodgers wants your attention so that he can tell you he doesn't want your attention when he retires. It's just so classic, this guy. We're not going to keep harping on it, but you go on Pat McAfee and then say, hey, I want a private life. Every update, every Tuesday, you go on Pat McAfee to fill us in on your life. And now after I want a private life. Okay. All right, Aaron, whatever you say, buddy. But this is all we want. We just want to see the mystery woman. That's all we want, Aaron. You show us the mystery woman, we leave you alone. We got Dak Prescott, his girlfriend, I'm assuming, wife, girlfriend, see, Dak Prescott's how you stay out of the limelight. That's how you do it, Aaron. Not by going on Pat McAfee. But I digress. But his girlfriend posts a picture of them together. I love this man so much. That's all I want to see. The mystery woman with Aaron Rodgers. Let's make sure she's real and we can all move on. How hard is that? We think you're faking your marriage, Aaron. Show us the proof. We'll see if we ever get it. All right, let's keep moving on here. This is how you know we're in the slow season. We're in the lull here, folks, but it's okay. It's not going to last too much longer. We're almost out of it. But this is what we get. This is the articles we get, the questions being asked now that there's really not a lot going on. We're waiting for training camps and mini camps to really take off. We get this asked. Tyler Shough, the Saints quarterback, on what it would have been like playing with Derek Carr. Do we care? I mean, do we really care? And no disrespect to Derek Carr, okay? But do we care about this quarterback, Tyler Shough, that's probably not going to be in the league next year, talking about what it would have been like to play with a quarterback in Derek Carr that was below mediocre his entire career, that did nothing impactful or meaningful? And now I'm going to come across as a bad guy because I'm knocking Derek Carr. But, mediocrity in sports doesn't interest me. I'm sorry. I'm here to see the best of the best, not the mediocrity. And unfortunately, Derek Carr, he threw 4,800 yards in a season. I'll give him that. I'll shout that out. I like that. 4,800 yards, and he went 10-7, his best record. Love that. But that was it. That was his career. 1 year of 4,800 yards. Very, very good. I love that. I gush over that. But that's all he did, and he still went only 10-7. They make the playoffs that year? I don't think so. Let me see. Oh, they did. They lost in the wild card against the Bengals. What'd they do? They put up 19 points. Derek Carr played good in the playoff game? Let me see. That was with Rich Bisaccia as the coach. It's been a long bad road for this Raiders team, and I'm sorry for y'all. Hopefully they can turn it around. Derek Carr, 310 yards. Okay, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. All right, 54. Let me see this. Let me see this completion percentage. 26 of 54. At 48%. Ugh. Is that right? Okay, there we go. 54%. Not great still. Still not great. So, I mean, that's what we're talking about with Derek Carr. And I get it's the Bengals, but the Bengals never have a good defense, and you still did that. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, folks, but look, this is the highest level, okay? This is the highest level. If you're not one of the best 32 quarterbacks, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate you're not the best of the best of the best. How depressing. How unfortunate. It's just unfortunate, Derek Carr. You weren't him. And now I have to read articles about Tyler Shuck and Derek Carr. He says this, quote, I think it would have been great just because of who he is and how high of a level he's played at to come in and learn from. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure. Sure. Okay. And has Derek Carr even did his podcast? Derek Carr was going to do a podcast where he's in a Rolls Royce and he interviews people. Something that's been done to death, you know, comedians in cars getting coffee. You know, Jerry Seinfeld started it. Everybody replicated it. But car, that's funny. Car, driving a car. Oh, my. I mean, how does that not sell 1 million hits an episode? But has he even done that yet? Derek Carr, Rolls Royce podcast. Let me see. What have you done yet? Derek and David Carr post their first car interview on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Let me see it. Let me see this. What is it called? Homegrown. It's on the Homegrown Network? What is that? They don't even have their own? The Homegrown Network. Here we go. I don't even know if he's posted it. In this video special, David and Derek Carr, we get both of them. I thought it was just Derek. We don't need David. Put David in the trunk of the car. We don't need... No, David, you're fine back there. You keep back there. David and Derek Carr sit down to open up about what's next. Not just for this channel, but in personal and professional lives. We're getting ready to launch our brand new podcast, and it's all about football, family, and everything in between. So literally every podcast. Every podcast that's already out there. Okay, we get you. Expect raw conversations, real stories, and weekly takes on the game they love. Whether they followed their careers from Fresno State to the NFL, or you're just here for authentic football talk, you won't want to miss what's coming next. We won't want to miss the Rolls Royce car conversations. Man, oh man, I'm just trying to find episode 1. I can't even find episode 1 here, folks. So, that's what they've got. Be on the lookout if you can find it. So, that's what he's up to. The Rolls Royce podcast, folks. All right, let's move off of Derek Carr, folks. Let's move on. Here we go. Let's briefly touch on this. The Tight End University, it was back. Hosted, created, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen. We talk about it every single year. Shout out. Love it. I think running backs need to do this. I think a lot of position groups need to do this. All come together, learn from each other, get better, and talk contract, talk money, so we can all trajectorize, right? If there wants to be potential collusion, allegedly, potentially, in the NFL between the owners, well, let the players start colluding themselves. Business is business, is it not, folks? Are you telling me that the tight ends can't collude, but the NFL owners can? Oh, knock it off. Love this. Talk money, talk deals, talk strategy, talk agents. Make sure the agents are all on the same page. Make sure y'all are on the same page so y'all get what you deserve and you don't get businessed, okay? Love this. Every position group needs to do this. I'll start it for the running backs. Running Back University starts this season. I'm going to start it next week. Every running back, I invite you down. You can come to my studio right here. Come down to the studio. We'll have our Running Back University. I'll tell y'all a couple of things about business. I'll be the business side. Derrick Henry will teach all the on-field lessons, all the on-field skills. So I absolutely love this by the tight ends. We get Travis Kelce right here, demonstrating some work.
Balanced, powerful position.
Love
that
it.
Instep is
Getting
typically
involved.
going in the direction that I want.
And then you got to shout out. I mean, even Taylor Swift performed. Taylor Swift performed an acoustic version of Shake It Off for the Tight End University kickoff party. I mean, shout out. Shout out. I mean, that's a good girlfriend thing to do right there. You know, I'm bigger than this. Oh, me, I got to play a good old rinky-dinky Tight End University. She would never take this gig. She would never do it. But oh, my boo, my honey bear, my Travis Kelce. I'll do it for you. I love you, and you're a tight end, and I'll come perform for these fans and the tight ends. Even though I don't need to. I don't need to do this. I'm Taylor gosh dang Swift. Are you crazy? But she does it 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Look at her go. Yeah, shake it off, Taylor. She's playing guitar. She's singing. It's acoustic. This isn't her normal Swiftie crowd. And she still does it. So give it up for her. Give it her applause. I mean, well done. Very well done. We'll see, does Haley Steinfeld perform her stand-up special at Josh Allen's quarterback camp? Will she do that? Will she perform all of her hits, her Haley Steinfeld hits, her most famous joke? So I was talking with my friends the other day about all the divisions, and when we got to the AFC East, I was like, you guys know who's in the AFC East, right? And they were kind of scratching their heads. They were like, yeah, we kind of need a refresher. So I was like, well, you got the Bills, the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills' three sons. I mean, that joke is just timeless. It's classic. It gets everybody always going. She's got her other jokes too, folks. I mean, she's no one-trick pony. She's got her tour joke. Let's listen to this.
And the Bills' three sons.
I mean, we all love that one. That's always a classic. Now, but she's got more. Here we go, folks. Listen to this one. Another joke by Haley Steinfeld. Listen up.
He goes by Tua. 3, 4, 5 concussions.
He's injured. He's always injured. It's so funny. Tua, more like 3, 4, 5 concussions. Oh man. I mean, folks, her joke catalog, it just goes deep. Listen to this one.
They say he goes by Cheetah, cheating on his baby mamas.
Cheating on his baby mamas. The Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. Oh man, she really knows how to play a room, folks. Here we go, another one, another joke.
February, March, April, May. 5 months, more like 5 wins.
Drake May, Patriots, 5 wins. And then she's got one more. Let's hear it.
Jets. That's the joke.
The Jets, they're the joke. So, will Haley Steinfeld be as good of a girlfriend, or should I say wife? She's got the ring now. I don't think they're married. I think we would have heard about that. So, will Queen Haley perform her stand-up for Josh Allen's quarterback camp that he's going to run? Or I should say running back camp. Zing! So, shout out to Taylor Swift. All right, let's keep moving on here. And, we've got a head-to-head battle here, folks. Because both these teams think their defense is going to be violent this season. So big dogs going against big dogs, violence going against violence. Who do we believe is truly telling the truth here and is going to be all about violence this year? We've got two teams in discussion. First one up is the Patriots. Say they will have, quote, a violent defense this season. And then we get George Kittle saying, defensive coordinator back at it, Robert Saleh, quote, violence is coming. All right. You got to back it up if you're going to talk violence, if you're going to talk no mercy, stealing the soul from your opponents. All right, can you sell us? Here we go. Safeties coach Scott Booker says, quote, we are going to make sure on tape day in and day out that people see our violence. And it's not just in tackling, it's in rerouting, it's in everything you do. I'm jabbing you at the line of scrimmage. Violence. I want you to stare in my eyes. Don't look otherwhere. Don't look elsewhere. As we're lined up corner and receiver, I want you staring me in my eyes. I'm gonna start sucking your soul out from your eyes. The violence is here. I'm ready to set the tone. Jabbing you, getting all up in you. The violence is here. I'm popping ya. You want to run? You're trying to dance around me? Pop. I'm rerouting you. Popped. Yeah, you like that pop? I'm rerouting you. The violence is here. Okay. All right. Acting defensive coordinator offered a similar description. All right. All the coaches buying in. He says, quote, being aggressive, being violent, not turning down blocks. That's pussy shit. I threw that one in there. Having a good toolbox of tools to defeat the offensive player. But it's not just always finesse. No, it's not finesse. We're trying to jam you. Violence. There is some physicality there and some violence. We're huge into guys that don't mind playing violent football. Ooh, yeah. You want violence? You come to the Patriots. I'm loving what I'm hearing already. All right. I like that. New England violence. Let's see if George Kittle is keeping the violence up. Let's see. Let's read George Kittle. Because so far, I'm on the Patriots violence. That's sounding real good right there. All right, here we go. George Kittle. During his media rounds this week, George Kittle was asked about the DC returning back to San Francisco. He says, quote, violence is coming is what I would say. Okay. All right. Not very believable. Not a lot of conviction in that one, but all right, let's keep going. Another quote. He's really good at his job, and I'm really excited that we somehow convinced him that our defensive, and I'm really excited that we somehow convinced him to be our defensive coordinator again. He knows what he's talking about. He's inspiring. He gets the boys fired up. And he just happens to also be really, really smart. So I'm pumped to have him back in the building, just hanging out with him a little bit, talking about stuff. You can tell he's ready to roll this year, and he's going to get the boys fired up. Okay. All right. I like the more violence of the Patriots. A lot more violence talk. They're ready to rip heads. They're ready to tear heads off. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I did see 28 years later yesterday. And if you want to talk about violence, you talk about the alpha zombie. They rip your head right off your They rip your head right off your body. The Patriots defense are looking like alpha zombies, spinal cord and all, just ripping it right off your body. So, all right, I'm going to give the point to the Patriots. They're the real scary, violent defense this season. Not whatever George Kittle's serving over there. Didn't inspire me. And I get it, George Kittle's an offensive player, so maybe he doesn't know violence like that, but then you got to get another spokesperson for you, because that didn't get me going. Sorry. So point advantage, Patriots. All right, I'm gonna expedite this then. Since we were talking about, yeah, let's expedite this. No, never mind. All right, let's just keep going here. We'll get back to it. We'll get back with Drake May and the Patriots, though. Defense we like. Offense, potential cause for concern. We'll get to it. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. we get the Giants, and once again, the Giants this year I'm gushing over. I think it's great value to bet their win totals. This is going to be a competitive team this year. I think we can get great value early on betting them to win games early, taking the points early in the season. So stick here by Takes by Fans. I'll point out all the value to y'all. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, folks. NFL season is a-coming, and once it's here, oh, baby. Oh, baby, we're all making money. We're all making money, so don't go nowhere else, I'll tell you that. But the sentiment in the building for the quarterback for the Giants, we know it's going to be Russell Wilson starting. We've been hearing really great things about Jackson Dart in the media and how well he's progressing and doing, his relationship with Brian Daboll. And we get Ian Rappaport saying, quote, it's clearly a matter of when, not if, Jackson Dart becoming the starter. And I don't know so much about that. I think I'm going to push back a little bit. Russell Wilson would not have come here if he wasn't guaranteed the starting role all year long. We kind of saw that with the Steelers. We know how Russell is, how he acts now. He was not going to come on this team and be a backup. He will not do it. So the only real avenue I can see of Jackson Dart playing is maybe at like the trade deadline. If they feel like Jackson Dart is ready to rock and there's a suitor for Russell Wilson that they can trade him to, that could happen. But I really think that would be the only case that Jackson Dart starts this year. If they trade Russell Wilson to another team that's going to be competitive where he can be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season, and then they start Jackson Dart. There's no way Russell Wilson gets benched this season. Maybe if they start like 0-7, then okay, but I don't see them being that bad. I don't see them being bad at all. So I think Russell Wilson starts winning. You're not going to go to a rookie quarterback if you keep winning, and he's going to pretty much start the entire season. So Ian Rappaport says it's a matter of when. I just don't think it's this season. And also, I know we've been hearing a lot of good reports, but I've also been seeing some knocking reports on Jackson Dart, where he would do some things good and then do some not things good. So I still think he's a little up and down, which kind of surprised me that Ian Rappaport was like so gushing about Jackson Dart. But we'll see how the rest of the offseason goes and if we have to change our tune on anything. But at the moment, I think this is Russell's job for the entire season. All right, we get this here. And yes, bring this back now, right now. We get Cam Jordan, the Saints defensive end, says the NFL needs to bring back taunting. Yes, please. It's for the competition. Everybody that acts like, oh my God, they're being... Do y'all not know competition? Have y'all played any sort of competition in your entire life? The rewarding thing about competition is backing up what you've worked all week for, all year for, all season for, all off season for, your entire life for. Working on that move to get around the lineman to get the sack. And then it happens. Oh, yeah, I'm taunting. Oh, you better believe it. Are you crazy? Getting a sack, getting a touchdown, scoring a touchdown. I mean, that's the ultimate goal of the game, to score points. And when you finally score a point, we can't celebrate. We can't taunt. Taunt. It's not my fault the defense was trash and let me score. Y'all are trash. I'm taunting y'all. Y'all suck. Look at y'all. Get them a little extra motivated. I want some competition here. Get that extra motivation for the other team. Give me your best. Will y'all stop being bitches and give me your best? Come on now. Yes, got to bring back taunting. Quote, I get a sack on the quarterback. Give me 5 seconds. Put the spotlight on me. Let us celebrate. It's okay to taunt. Bring back taunting. Let me talk my shit. Yes, right there. Let me talk my shit. Please, I've earned it. You're not paying me, so at least let me talk my shit. Y'all are colluding, so I can't get fully guaranteed money. At least let me talk my shit, at least. Now I can't get paid and I can't talk shit. Why am I a professional athlete then? So yes, give him 5 seconds. Give him the time. Get a little soft in sports now, folks. I don't love it. All right, here we go. Let's keep going on here. And this is where I want to bring up the Drake May. We love that Patriots defense, but there may be a little cause for concern, and this may be it. Here we go. It starts with Austin Eckler, the running back for the Commanders. Shout out, big fan, big dog, love it. Pay him more than what he's getting right now. Austin Eckler says Jayden Daniels exceeded expectations in 2024, but will show more growth this year. Now, the big narrative around NFL quarterbacks is kind of that sophomore slump. We heard a lot of people say CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump, even though he once again won the division and won a playoff game and all that. We had Peyton Manning coming out. I think it was at Fanatics Fest. He was like, "Yo, we need to slow down on taking a step back because CJ Stroud just did it again." So I don't know what y'all are talking about in, saying that he took a step back. So the taking a step back narrative, the sophomore slump narrative, why we may not see it a lot this season, we have to remember, folks, that these players, these NFL quarterbacks are kind of old now. These starting quarterbacks are old now. And that's why I don't think we have to worry about a sophomore slump or a little regression from Bo Nix and Jayden Daniels because they are older than a classic rookie young quarterback. We get Anthony Richardson. He was 21. He's 22 right now. CJ Stroud, he's 23. He was 21, 22 coming into the league. Jayden Daniels, he was 24, older, been around a little bit. Bo Nix, same thing, 24, more age, more experience, more time throwing the ball. So I don't really know if we should be expecting or betting with the idea in mind that Jayden Daniels and Bo Nix are both going to regress. If there's any regression in the Washington offense, I think it comes from Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator. I'm not going to put it on Jayden Daniels. Bo Nix, they just don't have a lot of weapons over there. So that would be his regression. I don't know if it's about Bo Nix himself, his arm, his decision-making, his reads. Once again, older quarterback. If there is somebody that we can see a potential regression with, it would be the younger quarterbacks because that's when we do see that. And that quarterback would be Drake May, potentially. A lot of people are gushing about Drake May. And, fine, I've got no problem with y'all gushing. He looked very solid his rookie year. He showed some promising things. Everyone's gushing about him in the national media. Everyone's kind of saying, like, Drake May is the one that's really going to pop off this year and, enter the forefront. We even have Josh Allen. Josh Allen, the king of New York, the king of the league. He can do no wrong. Josh Allen. He's even a fan of Drake May, saying, quote, he exemplifies football. And if we know anything about Josh Allen, it's pure football. He plays by the rules. We've heard that plenty. So if he knows what exemplifies football, it's Josh Allen. We get this here. Quote, I think Drake is super talented. He's one of my favorite young quarterbacks in the league. I spent some time around him, and he's got his head on his shoulders the right way. He just does things the right way. I think he exemplifies football. And then he goes on to talk about Stephon Diggs and all that because now he is in New England. Allen says, quote, I think he brings a lot of security for Drake on Stephon Diggs. Obviously, having the knowledge of playing in the league for so long, he has that veteran mentorship that he can give to Drake. So, big believer in Drake May, Josh Allen is. He loves Stephon Diggs still, even though Stephon Diggs kind of treated him a little like garbage, a little bit. So, I think we may pump the brakes a tad on Drake May here, folks. So, we'll keep that in mind. We love the defense. We love the violent defense. But Drake May, if there is a quarterback that is poised for a regression or a sophomore slump or a slight step back, I think it's going to be the younger quarterbacks, Drake May, and not Bo Nix and Jayden Daniels. All right, let's end on this right here. Once again, I think the biggest question mark of a team in the entire league is, without a doubt, the Arizona Cardinals. I like Kyler Murray, but we don't know if he's good for a whole season. They've got Marvin Harrison Jr. that started to come into his own a little bit, all right. They've got a defensive-minded head coach. Don't love it. Their defense isn't anything crazy either. They were up and down. They didn't finish last in the division. I think they beat the Rams. It's just like everything was just like, I can't get a clear read on this Cardinals team, and I've expressed that to y'all. But maybe we get a little look here, and that's why I want to just read this article quick, because this is good to hear. I like hearing this. Cardinals tight end Trey McBride aims for Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes type bond, saying, quote, "Why can't Kyler Murray and I have that same connection?" Okay, right. These are, some, hailed as the greatest of their positions of all time. Shout out Kyler Murray, but, he's not there. And, shout out Trey McBride, young dog coming into his own. He's been at tight end university. It's just high. It's a high bar. It's a high goal. Let's also make sure that he was at this year's tight end university, because if he wasn't, then we're not going to even read this article. There's no point to read it. Well, you didn't get invited to tight end university. You didn't learn from Travis Kelce. So, of course, you're not going to be Travis Kelce Mahomes-esque with Kyler Murray. So, here we go. Trey McBride. Was he here at tight end university? Where are the T's at? Trey McBride. Okay. All right. Well, that's step one. You completed step one. I like that. He attended tight end university. Good. Good first step. We get Trey McBride saying this, quote, "Travis, he would always give us some nuggets on being friendly to our quarterback. Make sure you and your quarterback are on the same page. He kind of plays it a little bit. Him and Mahomes have a nice connection, and I kind of took that and was like, why can't Kyler and I have that same connection? I feel like that's what I tried to do. I tried to have that same relationship in that growth with Kyler and just continue to make plays for him and be that security blanket. If he needs somewhere to go with the ball, he can always throw it to me, and that's what I'm trying to do for him." So I love that. That quote by Travis Kelce, I love. Make sure you and your quarterback are on the same page. He would give us some nuggets on being friendly to your quarterback. Off the field, connecting, hanging out, building that chemistry, building that relationship. They were just calling the relationship with the Thunder lame. Oh, look at that. Look at those lame boys. Those lame basketball players. They're all trying to share the credit. How lame. The team is good. That's so lame. Look at those lame players. They're all sharing the success. Lame. No, it's not lame. It builds championships. Are we crazy? I love this. Love this by the Cardinals. Love this by Trey McBride. Actively seeking that out. How do I get like the greats? Oh, you got to really put in the time in off the field with your quarterback. Build the chemistry, build the relationship, be lame if you have to. I want to see all Cardinals players after the game, after the win, on the field for the on-field interview after the game. I want all of them there. Do the Thunder. So yes. Thank you. We got a little crumb. We can nibble on with the Cardinals now. Thank you, Trey McBride. Thank you, Travis Kelce, for those great words of wisdom. Get to know your quarterback and be his best friend. It's not lame. It's crazy. I still can't get over people calling the Thunder team lame. It's ridiculous. All right, so a little glimmer of hope for the Cardinals as we keep progressing through this offseason. That's what we needed right there from them. All righty, folks, that is going to do it for us today. I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening, watching. We'll be back tomorrow to run it all over again. I don't think we're going to have a night show tonight, but I may stream a little something a little later in the day, potentially. But for guaranteed, we will be back tomorrow for our day show, 12 to 1, breaking everything down that needs to be broken down. So I appreciate everybody listening, watching. Get a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you Friday. Take it easy, folks.